Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9 spoiler chat. Yes, we are back doing this once again. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. And Captain Crawfish is coming in with random things. No, we're not doing random things tonight. We did make an announcement. So last night's stream was rescheduled. We will be pushing random things back to next Tuesday. We're going to get back into the whole vibe, but we got a lot of Walking Dead stuff to talk about tonight. And I know people wanted to recap Fear as well because Fear was a great episode. So tonight we're probably going to do a little bit of both. We're just going to satisfy whatever Walking Dead cravings that you may have. And we're going to talk about just some potential character storylines, some alternate things that could happen, some potential deaths are going to be part of the discussion over the next couple of weeks. We got so many things going on. I want to say thanks to everybody for being here. And thank you, though, for that super chat, Captain Crawfish. But I promise you we will have random things back in full effect next week because we had a blast with that last week. So let's get into what a lot of people want to talk about. And I see we got a ton of people actually walking in right now. As you can see, the circle over on the left side, Maggie is irate. She has not gotten over this. And if this is indicative of the miniature time skip, so here's what's a little bit strange with the Morgan situation, because we think Morgan was probably there for what, 5 to 6 months growing his plants. So if Morgan was there 5 or 6 months, either this is going to be right after the war before Morgan actually left, or Morgan's already gone, which could be Maggie almost ready to give birth. So I also want to say what's up to Valar. Valar is giving a shout out to Kill, Steph, Emmy, Bree, Kale, Sweet Tom, patrons and sponsors. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And your involvement, your contribution. And we will have, just for Valar, Thrones Thursday will officially be next Thursday. So if you are, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, if you're not, get out there, binge watch it, research it. But we're going to start the chat. We're going to do an overview of Game of Thrones, and I will be calling on some of you resident experts to help us get fired up about that because a lot of good stuff to talk about and a lot of good stuff to analyze. So I am going to throw this out there for the group question for everybody. How much of a time skip are you guys expecting to see when Season 9 starts? A couple of weeks? A month? 4 or 5 months? Let me know. I just want to kind of get a pulse of the group, a little bit of a survey here. Because the Morgan thing could be simultaneously happening. 1 year? So here's a question for the group. When Rick visited Morgan, I'm going to have to go back and watch it. Rick still had his hair, right? Because this could be a filming error. So Rick did still have his hair. So Rick has short hair now. And, I mean, it's easy. Obviously, you can cut your hair off at any time. But if it was vice versa and the hair was growing back. So you see what I'm saying? If there was no time skip, then that would mean that Rick had enough time for his hair to grow back. So it looks like if that's the case, we can do a little bit of deductive reasoning. If we can go by the filming, then we'd say it's at least 6 months. Because if Morgan grew if he grew the plant and the plant took him 6 months, and Rick had long hair when he visited him, Rick's hair had been growing out, and Rick cut his hair, so we could probably say it's at least 6 months. But some people are saying a year, maybe even longer than a year. So here's a follow-up question for the group. After a year, does Maggie still need to have that face? That is an angry, angry face. So, do you think that there's been an attempt for Maggie and Rick to sort of bury the hatchet, or each are building up their community separately? Because I mentioned this in one of the previous streams. I think Rick should have made an effort to do something. Whoa, some people are saying it's a couple years. So this little chariot ride in. Fluff great. Fluff says kills my ex is still mad at me for 20 years ago. Yeah. Then point well made. Yeah, she definitely is holding a grudge. We're going to get back to that because I think that if you guys are new to the chat, just want to say thank you for being here. This is our pregame. This is our, we're talking about spoilers. We're talking about some pictures that are floating out there. We'll dig down. This is what we do every year. So every year we start out in May and we just take little bits and pieces of the puzzle. We'll go episode by episode and talk about what we think is going to happen. Last year, we hit a few of those. I mean, completely in the dark, guessing blind. We got some pretty good theories out there about what would happen. One of the big misses last year, though, was, almost everybody predicted that Gregory would die, and that did not happen. But we got Tobin. We didn't get the method of which Tobin was going to die, but that was a very popular death we talked about. E-Beach, you are not censored. Captain Crawfish with a super chat says, doesn't matter how much time. I guess it goes both ways, though, Crawfish. I mean, some people just hold a grudge. We absolutely will. We will go episode by episode. I can't say it. Episode. I don't know where I came up with the word episode. We will go episode by episode this year. Just like last year. We're probably going to wait a couple weeks, though. Normally what we do is we get the initial images out there. We kind of mess around a little bit, give some overall theories. We do a synopsis of the whole season, and then we sort of break it down about how we would like to see it go episode by episode. So, those of you that remember, this may be a tough one. Do you remember some of our big predictions from last season? Not the spoilers, but early on, some of the things that we talked about that were going to happen. Let's do a little bit of pop quiz. And let's talk about some of the big misses as well. Just one or two. And then we'll do some big, bold predictions for what we can surmise out of these pictures. Eugene and the Bullets, we definitely hit that one. We were talking about Eugene and the Bullets. God, it had to be like June. That was well early before the spoiler sites predicted that. That was a good prediction. I don't know. It might have been a collaborative effort between all of us. Kel did say they would humanize Negan and keep him alive. I do remember that. The Simon Anarchy. That was an early prediction. Negan being alive. Amber T with a super chat. Ooh, it's a lot of super chat stuff. So let's say she's expected to live in peace with her husband's murder. She can't be happy about it. Good point. Also, I think it will skip almost a year. And P.S., how is your weather? I'm going to take the weather question first. The weather is very mild. It's actually beautiful. With that being said, good prediction, almost a year, so long enough for her to have the baby. And yeah, I think, and the bigger part of that, of what I really want to zoom in on the super chat, is Negan being locked up, and she by no means is comfortable with that decision. And there's other people that aren't comfortable with that decision. Daryl's not. Jesus isn't. So that will be a story. That will absolutely be a story about plotting to kill Negan. And I think that's going to be probably a big focal point before they get to the Whisperer War, is the relationship is still, maybe they're both building up. Maybe they trade, neighbors, they trade sugar, whatever they need in order to survive. But the trust between Rick and Maggie, I don't think is there. And I think to Amber's point, where Rick sees the bigger picture as making an example and keeping everybody in check, Maggie sees the bigger picture in honoring Glenn by killing Negan. So it's a different philosophical stance, and it'll be, I think it will be the main story when the season starts out. So I would say it's going to be a little bit of that kind of whodunit, where I think they all want to like each other, they all want to trust each other, but there's just going to be some scheming going on. So, question for the group. This will be our follow-up as part of that Super Chat Spotlight. Will Maggie succeed in taking out Negan in one way or another before the end of the season? Yes or no? You're at 16 episodes. And I'm going to ask a follow-up question because I saw before the yeses and the nos typed in. Pat Sanzone said they disagreed. And I'm sorry, Pat. I didn't know whether to say male or female because, yeah. You don't have to acknowledge, but I'll have to say they instead of he or she disagrees. So Pat says, I disagree, and I don't think it's going to be as big of a story as they seemed. I'm going to throw that out for the group. Maggie, and I'm going to get to OU Crawfish in a little bit. So this is kind of a little bit of a, Pat's a female, so this is a little bit of a disagreement between me and Pat. And I'm the one with the microphone, so I'm definitely not trying to take sides or ask the group to take sides, but I just want to get a pulse of the audience. And if you're new to these streams, we do this quite a bit. It's why we do live streams, why we do forums, because I'll call out a topic and we'll talk about it. Here's why I'm going to make my case and why I think that I'm right. Is Maggie was visibly upset that she couldn't do anything about it. Maggie was, her sole purpose was to kill Negan at Glenn's grave. The very end of the episode was very dark and cryptic, to where she says, Jesus, keeping those people alive, that was the right thing to do. But what Rick did with Negan, that was wrong. And we're going to build up, and we're going to be more prepared next time. And then Daryl walks around the corner. So the fact that they ended the season on that, I do think that it's beyond coincidence. And I do think the look on her face is intentional. I don't think she's just having a bad day and the weather down in Georgia is a little hot, which it is getting a little warm down there. But I do think that this is intentional, that that is her character for this particular scene. So I'm going to throw that out to the group. Do you think the rift between Maggie and Rick is a big deal going into the season? And do you think that there is that the storyline is really going to be about them building up, but also how Maggie can get revenge? Just a question for the group. And I'll get back to the super chat in 1 second. I think that is going to be, the rebuilding, though, Pat, is probably going to be the first storyline. It's what's changed. Because, we're watching, the first thing we're going to be doing watching the first episode is, oh, what's different? How long went by? They have water, they get solar panels, all those things going on. But then I think that's where a little bit of that sneakiness is going to come into play. Because Walking Dead, they can't leave it happy-go-lucky too soon. And I don't think they can roll right into the whispers. So I do think that those will be the two evil storylines. You usually have to have a good storyline and then the evil storyline. So the good storyline is, how everybody's helping each other, but then a little bit of revenge in the background. All right, we've got a couple super chats I got to jump into. So Captain Crawfish says, what new characters do you think we'll see, Jebediah, Clementine, or someone else from the comics this season? Any picture surface on them? Not yet, but I will tell you, I absolutely, if they would bring Clementine from the video game, I would be the biggest fan of a Clementine or a Kenny or a Lee, and I know it's different and the way it happened, but if you think Carl was a fan favorite for a while, and Cindy looks like she's got some staying power, she's going to be popular. If you bring Clementine, it will be absolutely amazing. Would love it. So, really quickly, from a scale of 1 to 10, we'll do a 1 to 10 survey. How excited would you be if they rolled out, and hopefully AMC, Scott Gimple, Robert Kirkman, hopefully they're bored, they tune into 999 every once in a while, watch a little bit of playback, and from a scale of 1 to a 10, how excited would you be if Clementine was introduced into the TV show The Walking Dead? And now I'll get to Scott's Super Chat in 1 second. Crawfish like 25. Yeah, you're getting one of those Emmy Bacon numbers. It never fails. I ask Emmy from a 1 to a 10, and there's never anything below a 10. Whoa, Will Saint, 2.3. And those of you out there that are gamers, you know. I started playing The Walking Dead, Telltale game, a couple years after, and we had thousands of people watching. It was pretty cool because they knew what was going to happen, but I was experiencing it for the first time. So every once in a while, we'll pick up an old game and just play it, and I think that's maybe a little bit of humor, is watching some of the things that I struggle with that everybody already knows the answer to. All right, we got another super chat in here, so thanks for that feedback. Scott the super chatter Kernan says, you think that Season 9 will open like Season 3 with a supply run and a big 8-month time skip? I predicted the season would be very much like Season 3. Um, I don't know. It's too early to tell. I think it's a good prediction to go back with what works, because there was a different popularity there. There was a lot of anticipation. But the group has built up several times. You build up at the prison, you build up at Alexandria, and now we're going to build up all these different communities again. It appears that the sanctuary is going to be rebuilt. Not really sure about the kingdom. I got a feeling the kingdom will be built back up. But Alexandria for sure. And with Rosita and Eugene and Alexandria, it'd be a good place to have Eugene. So here's a question that I have for the group. Will Eugene help rebuild the sanctuary? Or will Eugene help rebuild Alexandria? Or is Eugene just a man in demand, that Eugene is going to go wherever he's needed and be the chief architect among all the communities? Justin says Alexandria first, rest later. Help them all. So Eugene, who was hated and who was thought to be a traitor, I'm going to tell you guys this because I caught so much crap for this from many of you. And believe me, when you guys give me a hard time, I will never let you forget it. So it was right before, I think, episode 14. Either 13 or 14 of last year. The Eugene hatred was in full effect. And I remember it like it was yesterday. So I did a stream, and I said, Eugene could be the most valuable person in The Walking Dead. And I'm going to tell you, for literally 5 or 10 minutes, I got harassed, badgered, abused, all of the above. And I said, give me a second, let me explain it. Let me explain, when all this dies down, that Eugene is the person that has the knowledge to rebuild it. And it was venom. Eugene needs to die. He needs to go away. Eugene is a traitor. And one of the arguments that I kept making was, Eugene never chose to go to the sanctuary. Eugene was kidnapped. And after he was taken, he started appreciating that his talents were being put to use, not taken for granted. And now we're starting to see that come full circle, right? There you go, Davina. You remember. A lot of people remember. So now that he's going to be the one... now look, he was rude when he was doing the bullets, and he was very condescending. He had his mission, but he was like that evil, dark scientist. And I think he told Frankie, I don't remember the exact words, but I think it'd be a good idea if you just massage my shoulders and get on over there and make me some omelets. Whatever the case. He wanted omelets and he wanted a massage. He wanted something. But it was very dark and twisted and sexist. But Eugene is intelligent and ignorant at the same time. Socially awkward, maybe, but he's a genius. And his genius is going to make him the most valuable person in The Walking Dead for a while. So, Janet C., I agree with you. Well, I like him, but I agree with the part where she says Eugene wants to be the big man, I still don't like him. But you don't have to like him to understand his value, and I think that's the real, that's the real kicker. All right, we got another super chat up in here, up in here. So, Scott said, did you see Rick's badass version of Lucille? I have not. So that may show up in another stream, Scott. But not this stream. We can't do a stream with all the pictures and everything that's out there. So we're going to kind of pick our battles and just go through just a couple things, because we're going to talk about Daryl in a couple seconds here. So Villar says, as long as you respect Eugene for his talent, he'll help you. But there's a dire situation. Most likely Eugene will help himself. That is true. So here's the deal with Eugene. It is his moment. And I do love the fact that they're going to make him popular. They're going to make him valuable, because that'll get some of the real-life haters off his back. But it'll be interesting to see. And you know what? I'm not going to answer this question because I love to ask the audience this. When the Whisper War breaks out, will we see a new Eugene? A Eugene that's ready to fight? Did he learn his lesson? And with the support of Rosita, now he's got a support group. Or will Eugene revert to being a coward? Walking Dead Nerd says, for sure. Maggie says, no way. Janet, he is a difficult person to nail down. But I feel like he's going to be a little bit more predictable, because he was dealing with the death in his own way. He found some value. And we saw this with fear. So I got a question for the group. And this is going to be pointed at the Fear the Walking Dead fans. How many people are big fans of Strand on Fear the Walking Dead? Let me know if you're a fan of Strand. Angela Lewis says, I love him. Ron Burgundy says, I am. Mina says, I am. Casey, I love Strand. He's okay. I like him. Love him, says Ken and Nicole. Janice says, hell yeah. He's okay. Kind of. Fan. We're getting a lot of stuff. Walker says, I am. I love his character. Okay. Why does Strand get a free pass for wanting to run off with his lover, his new lover, and having a carload of supplies and abandoning and totally abandoning the group? But Eugene doesn't get a pass for self-preservation and trying to survive. Eugene didn't pack up and leave anybody. Strand wanted to. I don't know, Mina. I would argue that would be cowardly. No, he did come back. I'm just saying he wouldn't have came back if the guy would have left with him. I'm just saying from a comparison standpoint. Kel says I give them both a pass. Davina says because he got their asses out of California. Well, Eugene just sabotaged the bullets and changed the war. All I'm saying is If that man would have got in the car with Strand, Strand was gone. Eugene, this is the part that gets mixed up. Eugene spoke up to save Rosita. Then he got taken captive. And then he got a taste of safety. But Eugene also used a megaphone to try to get the group to surrender. Wasn't there to kill anybody. And ultimately did the right thing. And now might be the sole mastermind behind rebuilding the communities. I'm not saying you have to give him a pass. I'm just drawing a comparison. So, just a real quick question for the group. Lucy's going to be a badass on the show, right? How many people are Lucy fans on the show? Villar says, I see no difference between Eugene and Strand, only Eugene is smarter. Mama says, getting there. Not sure. Kel, I love Lucy. Okay, Ricky Ricardo. There's some Lucy fans out there. Lucy's a runner, right? How many people love Carol? Any Carol fans out there? I know there's some Carol fans out there, right? Carol is amazing. Do you guys know where I'm going with this? Carol is. We have some, as much as I love my viewers, and I'm right there with you. Carol ever leave the group? I know you're going to give me the reasons. I know you have an argument. I know you're going to justify it. But Carol ever take off and leave some people hanging? So the point to this is that every character on the show at some point or another has thought about leaving or doing something different or going their own way for the most part. I just think it's time that people dig down a little bit deeper and understand Eugene. For the life of me, I can't remember why when he stood up for Rosita, he was hated as much as he was. There were a lot of real-life haters out there that just despised his character. All right, and just a real quick question, because a couple of viewers did suggest this. The bandana over Daryl's face. I don't know the level of fuel and the inventions, but some people mention that. Is he a bandito? Is it very dusty and he's riding a dirt bike? Or have they found a way to manufacture some sort of fuel that smells really, really bad? I'm going to throw that question out for the group. I love it. Fluff says he's ashamed because he can't grow a real beard. Very nice. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it does open up the possibility that the priority of all the groups right now is to maximize their resources. The threat of the saviors is gone. You've got, and basically you're going to have, depending on whether Oceanside migrates, but the heaps are gone. Jadis will probably be part of Rick's community. So you've got Alexandria, the Hilltop, the Kingdom, the Sanctuary, and you could still have Oceanside, but maybe Oceanside merges into the other groups. And I do think in episode number 1, it's going to be about all these inventions. And I have heard rumors that there's a water tower. So a water tower was rebuilt, and they're coming up with their own irrigation system and doing some of that stuff all over again. I guess they had it before, but the war destroyed a lot of that stuff. Ken and Nicole says, I'm telling you, Jadis is breaking Negan out. I think that would be too much for us to go through again. I'm going to follow up on that with a bold prediction. So, Kenna, I'm not going to say that Jadis is breaking Negan out, but I'm going to take it one step further. So here is my first Season 9 super bold prediction, which is going to take a little bit of the comic and a little bit of that, but you did get to my next point. I'm going to say that Jadis is going to unlock the prison cell for Negan. And after a period of time, Negan is not going to leave, and they're going to find out that the prison cell is finally unlocked, and Rick is going to say, why didn't you escape? And that's going to start to change the Negan dynamic. That Negan is going to get to a point where he wants to help. I don't know that I want him to help. This is going to be so hard. Negan won't leave. Negan won't escape. He needs to be a part of something, and he's going to have to turn his ways. It's still going to be a hard sell, but those of you that watch these streams for a long time, which is many of you, and I appreciate you being a part of these streams, one of the predictions from last season rolling into this season is, and it wasn't really a prediction, it was some good open dialogue, I think, is what would it take for us to accept Negan? And the one thing that I kept saying is time. That time changes things. And a time skip, I feel, it's not as fresh in your memory. And I'm bringing up a lot of old streams because we did talk about this probably for about 30 minutes one night. Is you do become a different person through time. We're not the same person we were 3 years ago or 5 years ago. We definitely have our baggage. And Negan does have a lot of baggage. But if you're not going to kill him, then there's always a chance that he could do one of two things. There's a chance he could go back to being Negan, or there's a chance that he can be a valuable part of society. And I do think that he's going to earn his stripes somehow. He has had plenty of time to think. And when we get confirmation that there was a time skip, that's all going to bring it into perspective. So I have a couple requests for the group. We've had a good crowd tonight. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys could all just do me a favor and loose seal that like button, that would be really, really awesome to show your support for 99 Army all of you are just a real big part of everything that we do. Once again, I apologize for the cancellation last night. So I just want to tell you a couple things that we're going to kind of have going forward. There will be no streams tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. So no 999 gaming, no videos, no streams. I will be away for the next 3 days. I may do a specialty stream on Saturday. Usually we don't. That's still in the works. So stay tuned. If you're part of our Facebook page, then we'll post something. I'll have the moderators. Somebody will get out there. But if not, we will start back on a regular schedule. Either it'll be a special stream on Saturday, but it's more likely it'll be Sunday. We'll do What If at noon. We'll do our countdown Fear the Walking Dead, and we'll also do our reactions. And then next week will be a full slate of videos. We'll be back just every night, doing what we do, having a good time with this. So I appreciate everybody, everything that you guys do, making time for this. I don't want the buzz to wear off of Fear, because Fear is getting so good. I know there's a lot of hype around that right now. We want to keep that going. So we definitely will do the Fear countdown and also the reaction video. But it's also good to kind of juxtapose the two. We know they're not the same show, but there are some similarities in the show. And now we can do some pretty good comparisons. So if you watch Fear, then you'll know exactly what we're talking about. And if you know the comics, which a lot of you know it better than I do, and if you play the video games, then we do mention some of these other characters. Then, like Clementine, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Thanks, everybody. This is a little bit longer video. We're up to like 42 minutes. Appreciate the Army, all the patrons out there, all the sponsors, the super chatters, everybody that's a part of this. You guys are absolutely amazing. And we will wind this thing down. If you're watching the playback, this is the closing credits. If you're still here, give me a quick 999, and we will do some super shout-outs on the way out the door. And I will see all of you either Saturday or Sunday. And just a couple more things while I'm getting ready for these shout-outs. When I see some nines light up the screen, is we will have Walking Dead Season 9 Death Watch videos. That'll be coming out. We're going to have some shocking news that'll be out there. We'll get that segment going. And also, this is kind of the first one indirectly because of the leaked images, but we will have our 909 spoiler chat, and we'll do episode by episode. So there you go. That's what we got going on. I want to say what's up to OU Captain Crawfish, Mumbo55, Beth Brigette, Bando Bandit, the Catnat, Blue, what's up, Blue? Amber T, got some exclamation points up in there. Thanks for that super chat earlier, too. eBeach72, Maggie B, Walker Dead, Michelle M, one of the sponsors. I see you in green, Michelle. Thank you. Oh, I got another. Chris Rainig was, I didn't see him in this video, but he's one of the new patrons as well, too. So thank you so much, Chris. You're watching the playback. I want to do a special shout-out for you. And we'll get the sponsorship and the patrons updated so everybody's a part of that. Clinton Brown, thank you. Diane Estes, Angela Lewis, Ken and Nicole, Valar, thank you so much. And thank you for that introduction. And a shout out to all the people who support this channel. Eric C., Fluff in the house, DDA, James McDade, D Love, Justin Barrett. All my moderators are absolutely awesome. Emmy, Steph, Kel, Tommy, Janet Person, Mitch True, thank you so much. Bumblebee Brown, Graffiti Saint, Janice Shoecker, Hippo in the house, Northside Queen. Hey, good to see you back, Northside Queen. We missed you too. I think today is, I saw something pop up. Today might be Maddie's birthday. So, Jamie Jordan, hopefully you can confirm that. If it's Madison's birthday, I want to say happy birthday to Madison. Melinda Kettler, thank you. An H. Thanks so much, Pat. I will do my best to have a good time. If you guys are on the Patreon site, I will post some pictures there first, and then I'll probably throw some stuff up on the Walking Dead 909 Army page as well. Thank you, Kenna. I love all of you too. Jimmy's jamming. What's up, man? Good to see you. Casey F. Where is Pickles? Where is Tammy? Gina Crockett, thank you so much. Jimmy's jamming. You did miss everything, but watch the playback. Thanks, Valar. Ron Burgundy, thank you. Oh, Crawfish is having a birthday on Saturday. We'll have to do something special. All right. If you guys are coming here late, you can always watch the playback. And the cool thing about the playback is just all those comments streaming along the side. All right. If I missed you in a shout out, I apologize. Leave your comments down below. They will be included in future videos. I owe you guys on the 909 Dead site. I've got a lot of comments that we're going to compile into one video. So I know I've kind of said that multiple times, but if you guys subscribe over to our sister channel, 909 Dead, I promise you, at some point within the next couple of weeks, you're going to start to see some of those videos pop up, and they're a lot of fun to do. Kelly Golanzinier, Promageddon, Janet C. Thank you, everybody. Will Saint. All right, everybody. See ya. Peace.